Hey guys, let me just set up this camera a bit proper back here. Hey guys, welcome to another video on that biggest agricultural platform in Namibia known as, sorry, I'm just trying to set this camera properly here. Alright, known as Nduna Wengombe, which means headman of cattle in English. Today is the 27th of May 2021. And even recording, my name of course is Mitchell Mutumba Simata, aka the headman of cattle. Today, I want to talk about not livestock, but those things, those pests that suck the blood out of our cattle that we hate, and that can actually be a very bad insult word. If someone says you're a tick, it means bad. That animal that lives off other animals' blood, which is the tick. So there are three types of ticks that are very common and are very bad when it comes to livestock farming, whether you're farming stud, commercial, or small scale. So I'm going to touch on them today. The first one being this guy. This is known as the kettle tick. This is the kettle tick. That's how he looks like. So they say the kettle tick adapts quickly to areas where it has been introduced. The larvae gather on the softer skin of an animal, such as the inner thigh, the inside of the thighs, the flank, the foreleg, and the tummy area. They say the environment you'd find this type of tick, you'd find it in the savanna and the wooded grasslands. That's the areas it loves. They say the primary host where you'd usually find the animal you'd find this tick on would mostly be cattle, but you'd also find them on horses, donkeys, sheep, pigs, and occasionally on buffaloes. They say the disease it passes is anesthetic red water. I don't know, I keep on saying red hot. I don't know, probably I'm thinking about rum right now. And then they give bovine babesiosis and anaplasmosis. Sorry, babesiosis threw me. I almost said babesiosis. Babesiosis. They give gall fever. The animals show reduced weight and a decrease in milk yieldage. So those are some of the signs that you'd know that your animal is probably suffering from a kettle tick infestation. Those are the signs you need to keep out of. Signs you need to keep an eye on. They say you need to get controlling it. They say you need to get R micro plus. R micro plus can build up an arisedic resistant more rapidly than other tick species. So avoid prolonged treatment with a single acrosetic. If there is resistant to a single acaricide, if there is a resistant to both organophosphide and chlorinated hydrocarbon and acaricide, carbonate acaricide can be effective. Other options is regular dipping. This is for the cattle tick. You can regular dip until the livestock are tick free. They say after 2 more dips, send the animals to tick-free pastures. The pastures that were removed, the cattle, they were removed from must lie idle for 6 to 10 months. So 6 to 10 months, if you're moving them from a camp where cattle ticks are, let it lie idle for 6 to 10 months. And the novel cattle tick in vaccine can be used as an alternative to dips. So one way is dipping the cattle. Another way is moving the cattle from that camp after you've done the treatment and keeping that camp just laying fallow for 6 to 10 months. That is one way you can do it. The second tick here would be the bond tick, which is the colorful fella. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it on your cattle. They say the tick, the bond tick, bond, by the way, in Afrikaans means colorful, hey? The colorful tick are typically found in short pastures. They collect on the legs. Or in between the hooves and crawl from there to their chosen feeding sites, usually around the hairless regions of the body, such as the genitalia and the underbelly. They say the habitat of this animal, they say this is one of the tick's main host, one of the tick's The habitat of this animal, one of the tick's main hosts, this makes it the most widely distributed tick in the continent. It has been recorded in at least 30 countries, including South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Mozambique, and Angola. So in most SADC countries, it has been found. They say the hosts this animal loves, this animal, you'd always get it on, I mean, not animal, but this tick, this insect. You'd find it on cattle, goats, sheep, horses, dogs, as well as antelopes and birds, are all targeted by the bond tick. The most common disease this animal spreads is, of course, one of the main diseases spread by the tick is heart water. Remember, there's red water and there's heart water. It's hard water. They explain what heart water is. They say where fluids develop around the heart and lungs, mortalities can be 80% in infected animals. An additional problem is the potential blood loss. Before dropping off to lay its eggs, a female can consume about 20 millimeters of blood. So that's a lot, 20 millimeters for such a small tick. Imagine they are this big, but they can consume 20 millimeters of blood. They say a heavy infestation can lead to weight loss, reduction in appetite, and lead to other diseases too. Sometimes signs could include nervousness, more obvious in cattle than in sheep or goats, difficulty in walking, and respiratory distress, and convulsion and death. So it can lead to death. So this is something you should take care of. They say, how do you control it? They say controlling can include movement restrictions, pre-export inspections, and quarantining and treatment with acaricides while the tick is on the host animal. It has been suggested that livestock should not be reintroduced into pastures where measures have been in place to eradicate the tick for at least 4 years. So if you have the bond tick, you might not be able to put your cattle in that same camp for the next 4 years. So for 4 years, this camp has to stand without animals, eh? So they say hot water vaccines is also available, and animals respond well to the treatment. Also respond well to this treatment. So it's a treatment that you guys can utilize when you have the bond tick in your farm. The next one, do I have a picture of it? Let me see. I'm struggling to find the picture. Sorry, on the bond tick, you can use hot water vaccines is available, and animals respond well with tetracycline. So that's something you can use for the bond tick. The next one, I believe, is one of the most common one. We see this guy on our pets. We see this tick on our dogs, and you can also find it on your cattle. It's called the blue tick. They say the blue tick is present throughout the year, but is most active in December to January and March to July. It can be widely dispersed on a host, although the adults prefer the flank, the underbelly, while the immature ones are found mostly on the ears, neck, and dowlap. That dowlap would be that loose skin you find on your cattle. You get on your cattle. That will be the dowlap, that loose skin around the neck. So they say the habitat this type of tick loves is savanna, grasslands, and wooded areas. So it loves your savanna, your grasslands, and your wooded areas. So it say the type of hosts, primarily cattle and horses. But sheep, goats, gemsbok, wild dogs have also been, not wild dogs, but dogs, just your normal dog, your domesticated dog, have been identified as carriers of this illness too. So they say the disease the disease you get from blue tick, it will be red water disease, gall sickness, anaplasmosis, anemia, and cattle tick worry. Heavy infected livestock may lose weight and show significant reduction in milk yieldage. Babiosis manifests as a rise in body temperature and red urine and death. So that's how this illness would manifest itself in the livestock. So it can lead to, babesiosis manifests itself as I said, a rising body temperature, red urine, emaciation, where the animal doesn't really eat and starts losing weight and it dies. They say control would say 3-week daily dipping cycle. During the winter. Then you also do during winter dipping may be reduced due to lower tick levels. Beware of resistance. However, a cost-effective alternative that is friendlier to both the environment and to both the animal and the environment is to immunize, inject the animals against tick microplasm. Microplus. It will be B86 protective agent. They say the B86 was produced in 1990s. The B86 is effective in controlling a number of tick species. The vaccination has a number of benefits, reducing the number of ingrown ticks on the animals as well as the number of larvae on the animal over a successive generation may disrupt the tick's breeding cycle. Females are likely to drop off before they are ready to breed. In addition, it reduces the chances of the resistance to build up. So that is they say BM86 is an injection you can. I don't know if they sell BM86 in Namibia, but as I said, this was collected from Farmers Weekly, so I believe it's probably sold in South Africa. But one could check. I'll probably have a look at Agra to see if they sell it, but they could. So those are the type of ticks you find. Of course, as I mentioned, you get your kettle tick, you get your bond tick, you get your blue tick. And if you were to ask me which one's the worst, I have to say the bond tick for me seems like it's a terrible breeder. You're talking about 80% mortalities within animals once it starts infesting. But the blue one also has some very terrible ailments, as we had the gall sickness and all this type of illnesses it gives. So, but then I would say all ticks are terrible. You do not want to have ticks on your cattle, as you had loss of production, loss of weight, loss of milk production, and also you want to avoid having them. They cause your cattle all type of ailments. And those are my 2 cents, or should I say the information contrast to Farmers Weekly. Farmers Weekly's 2 cents on how to control ticks and the type of ticks that are commonly found amongst cattle and why they are important to vaccinate against them. Particularly if you have young heifers, you should be very careful. When the ticks infest the udder of a young heifer, they infest the udder, they could damage the tits of the young heifer, which could mean that your heifer could end up not having 4 tits, but having 1, or having 3, losing 1, having 3, or losing 2 and only having 2, or losing all 3 and only having 1. I had a cow that had that, and that happened due to tick infestation. So you should be very careful with ticks. That's another physical damage they can cause to your livestock. So those are mine and Farmers Weekly's 2 cents. For now, guys, I say have yourself a brilliant evening and bye for now.